Live by design, not by default. I touched up on this theme a little bit in my previous video called Break Free, which, as it stands now, is at about 10,000 views and counting. It's getting a lot of positive feedback, some great comments, and thank you all, by the way. But I'd like to provide more context, more details about what it is to live life by design. I feel like many of you are interested in possibly doing the same. And if that's the case, there's definitely some things you guys need to consider. So, let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? Sylvie here, and welcome to the new narrative. Okay, motorcycle. Thank you, motorcycles. Noisy. What are you gonna do? Okay, all right. Let's get back to what we were talking about. Leading a life by design. I would like to go through a few things that you need to consider if you're going to even entertain the thought of leading a life by design. So first, the definition. Live by design, not by default. What does it mean? I found this really great definition from Quora, which I want to go through with you right now. You can pause to read, or I'll just read it, since you guys seem to like my voice so much. All right, number 1, intentional living. It encourages individuals to actively create their own paths and make conscious choices about their values, goals, and actions, rather than simply go along with societal norms or expectations. 2, proactive approach. Living by design suggests taking a proactive approach to life, setting goals, planning for the future, and making decisions that align with one's true desires and aspirations. 3, avoiding complacency. Living by default implies a passive existence, where one might drift through life without questioning their choices or seeking personal fulfillment. This quote urges people to be aware of their circumstances and to strive for a life that reflects their own dreams and values. Self-reflection. It implies the need for self-reflection and assessment, encouraging individuals to think about what they truly want and to take steps towards achieving rather than accepting life as it comes. So there you have it. So why is it so difficult for some to achieve this kind of lifestyle? Well, in a word, it's called work. It's called employment. It's called a job. And for many, not for every, but for many people, working a regular 9-to-5 might impede one's ability to achieve this level of freedom. So I think it's important for you to realize that if this is the kind of lifestyle that you would like to achieve for you, there are some important factors to consider. And I'm going to give you 10. All right, here we go. Number 1, financial stability. Do you have a financial cushion? Do you have savings? Do you have a safety net of any kind? Because leading a life by design demands that you have some kind of backup. The ability to be able to support yourself while not having a regular job, not depending on a regular 9-to-5, is vital for achieving any kind of success in the life by design lifestyle. You have to be realistic about the kind of time you're going to need to embark on this new venture. For myself personally, 2020, aka the pandemic, aka COVID, presented the perfect storm for my exploratory adventures into entrepreneurship. In January 2020, I lost my real job. So today, January 17th, 2020, today is my last day of work. And to be honest, it frightened the hell out of me. Because I'd been at that job for almost 2 years. I had just gotten a raise, and I was excited about the prospect of actually moving up in a corporate job. Even though I was still doing voiceover, I was kind of looking at this job as, hey, I could make moves here. I could stay here. I could be comfortable here. But as with many places of employment, that didn't happen. I lost my job. It was a really turbulent time for me. It was stressful. I had anxiety because, motherhood. And I didn't really know what to do next. I felt lost. I felt like I didn't have a plan. And then 2 months later, COVID hit. And all of a sudden, we were locked down and had no place to go, couldn't work. Millions of Canadians were receiving government aid and not going anywhere. So I took that opportunity to save. Now, a lot of people did different things with their stimulus checks. Me, I saved, and it surely came in handy. Because when the pandemic ended and things started reopening, I didn't have to go back. And I was in no rush to go back. Because during the pandemic, I had cultivated my entrepreneurial pursuits. And I revisited passions that I had, activities that I'd loved to do. And it really helped me to build a small business, little by little. It was amazing. But I used that opportunity. I used 2020 as an opportunity to bank money, bank it. And I utilized that cushion to fund my small business. So yes, financial stability was a cornerstone of my entrepreneurial journey. Without it, you're going to be hard pressed to even start living a life by design. So my advice, save your money. Save some money. Save for 3 months, 6 months, a year if you can. But save something. Now, some of us are lucky. Some of us have partners. And some of us have sugar daddies. But seriously, highly recommend that you save money. You're going to need it. Whatever endeavor you're going to undertake, it will need to be funded. So be smart. Save your money. 2, clarity of purpose. Why do you want to quit? Make sure that your reasons for quitting your job are not rooted in temporary frustration. Is there just a little thing that needs tweaking on your job to make it acceptable? Is there something that you can speak to your HR about to make things that much more pleasurable in order for you to stay? You definitely don't want to be quitting your job in a fit of rage and thinking irrationally. You need to get crystal clear about what it is that you want. How do you do that? You write it down. You take time to reflect. Weigh the pros and cons. Sometimes it's not necessarily the job. It might just be certain elements of the job that just need a little bit of improvement, just a little bit of tweaking. But just make sure that you are clear about your purpose, that the job and the tasks that you're currently doing are really dissatisfactory, that you feel that it's toxic, that you feel that it's unbearable. Be very clear about that. 3, the viability of your plan. Have you validated your idea for your plan for creating income during this life by design? Have you researched the market, the potential for the demand? How about the competition? This can ensure that your plan has long-term potential. Now, there are tons of websites to go to find out the viability of a plan. I visited a website called Google Trends. It's a website that allows you to literally look up stats and the demand for what it is that you're doing for the business that you have. You could measure the stats by month, by year, because Google, as we know, is the #1 search engine, and they know like everything about us. How many times have you thought of something, like literally thought of something, and then it showed up on your feed, on your phone? Google. Google. Google Trends is one of many sites that you can visit that enables you to, test your plan for its viability. And it might be a useful tool for you to look into it. So think about it. 4, skills and expertise. Do you possess the skills and the knowledge required to achieve the life by design that you want? It might be useful to identify skill gaps and figure out what it is that you can do to make sure that you are knowledgeable about your business, that you have all of the essential tools that can help you in taking the leap. Now, between Google, YouTube, TikTok, and now ChatGPT, there is no excuse to not acquire the knowledge and tools you need. There are tons of free resources out there. Learn to Google stuff. I myself, I go to YTU, YouTube University. I YouTube everything, every single thing that I've wanted to know about my small business, about how to use my computer, about how to use a software, about how to use anything. I've always just gone to YouTube. So many tutorials. But what you need to do is start with one search, and then take your time, and then absorb the information, and then action the information that you've absorbed. And then if there's another gap, fill that in with another tutorial that you watch and that you absorb, or an article that you read and that you absorb. You are going to have to take your time with it. We are not computers. We have to learn how to disseminate information before we can action on it. I can remember when I was learning how to use Canva, for instance. Canva is an app that is so vital to my ability to operate my business that I've gone beyond using the free version. I pay for the pro version. That's how much I need Canva in my life. But getting to know how to use it was really intimidating at first. But when I didn't know about a piece of information, I looked it up on YouTube and I watched the tutorial, and then I tried it for myself. And then before you know it, I knew what I was doing. Listen, we are in the era of information. Improve your skills and expertise through the vast volumes of information that is out there. You will not be sorry. 5, support system. Are the people around you supportive of your decisions? Do they lift you up? Do they provide guidance, enthusiasm, advice? Surrounding yourself with a network of people really helps during uncertain times, especially when you're undertaking a new venture or entrepreneurship. It's not easy to proceed with something when you're on your own. And it really helps to be mindful of the people who are around you. So make sure that the people that are in your circle are your peeps, your good peeps, your supportive peeps. Dump the toxicity, dump the naysayers, dump the haters, and keep the people who lift you up. 6, work-life balance. Will leading a life by design truly give you the freedom and fulfillment that you're desiring? Or could it blur the lines between work and personal time? I know that for me, when I first started with my small business, I was tunnel vision to the point that I would go to bed at 2, 3 in the morning. I would have hardly slept, which was like of no use to my son. I woke up irritable, angry, tired. I even took it out on him sometimes. I did apologize though. But when I was in the thick of it, I realized that this isn't the way. Why did I escape the 9 to 5 to get into this situation where I'm working more than 9 to 5? So at first it kind of seemed very imbalanced. Every single minute and second was dedicated to this new venture of mine, this entrepreneurial journey. I got lost. And so I knew that I had to dial it back and establish boundaries with myself. And that's not always easy, but if the whole point of leading a life by design is to spend more time with my family and especially my loved ones, I have to establish boundaries with myself, with other people. And I'm still working on that now, but I'm much, much better at it. So it's important for you to be mindful of setting your own boundaries when you're embarking on a new venture, because you don't want to lose the valuable relationships that have been a source of support and love for you. Otherwise, what's the point, right? So learn to establish boundaries. Very important. 7, risk tolerance. How comfortable are you with uncertainty? How do you feel about the notion of, not getting sales, not making money, missing out on paying a phone bill, a light bill, your car note? Entrepreneurship is very risky. There's a lot of ups and downs. And while it can be a very rewarding, and while it could be a very rewarding experience to be your own boss and live on your own terms, it's very scary. I've had moments of mac and cheese for 2 weeks. I've had moments of waiting 30 days to get paid, 90 days to get paid. It's downright frightening sometimes when you don't know when your money's coming. But that's when, we get to the number 1 on the list, which is financial stability. The cushion. The cushion comes in handy. But sometimes you eat into your savings, which has happened to me more than once. So if you're risk averse, you'll want to think twice about leading a life by design, because there's a lot of risk involved. And you have to swallow the fact that sometimes things are not going to go your way all the time. Equipment breaks. Things don't show up in the mail. Customers complain. There's so much that could go wrong. And money is among them. And it's probably among the most important factor. I think that when considering a life by design, you have to consider the potential absence of funds. And how do you deal with that? And if the thought of not knowing where your money is coming from, if that thought gives you like knots in your throat and causes you to even cringe a little bit, you'll want to think twice. You'll want to think long and hard, because it's not an easy road. Of course, once you've figured it out, it's fabulous. It's great. But even at that, there's always pitfalls. There's ebbs and flows. And you have to be aware of that risk. You have to be very mindful of that risk. So, think about it. And think about the notion of being emotionally prepared for the inevitable ups and downs that come with leading a life by design. 8, exit strategy. What is your exit strategy? Are you looking to transition out of your present job, or are you looking to do a cold turkey situation? You might want to consider doing your new venture while you're still doing your job, easing into it gradually. I've been a slasher for the longest time. What's a slasher? Voiceover artist slash customer service worker, voiceover artist slash administrative assistant, you get it. I've never not worked while I'm doing voiceover. I've never not done something else while I'm working on my side hustles. It wouldn't make sense to just quit without a plan. Not to me, anyway. You need to fuel the other passions, right? You need money to fuel the side hustles. And where was that money going to come from? It can't come necessarily from the side hustle, since it's the thing that's not making enough money in the first place, right? So it makes sense to ease into it. Don't leave your job until you can actually leave your job. 9, health and well-being. Will the stress of self-employment or this new lifestyle change affect your mental health or physical health in any way? And how will you be able to handle that financially? Consider the pressures of creating your own path while maintaining your well-being, because it's very important for you to be in good shape. I mean, you want to be able to function, right? You want to be able to accomplish your tasks. And if you're not in a good way, or if you get sick or injured, can your finances handle that? Now, I had a scare in April of 2022. It hospitalized me for a few days. In fact, I couldn't even take care of my son. I was down for the count. And it was very scary for me. But I can tell you that as a Canadian, and being a Canadian, being hospitalized didn't bankrupt me. I got out of there with a couple of prescriptions that didn't cost me more than, I don't know, 100 or so. As a Canadian, I'm very fortunate. Our healthcare is subsidized. And while it's not perfect, and this video is not about the Canadian healthcare system, so I'm not going to get into that, but I know that I could walk into a hospital, I can walk into a clinic, and it's not going to cost me an exorbitant amount of money to do so. If you can think about where you are health-wise and feel confident that you'll be okay, even though it's kind of beyond your control, really, anything can happen. You have to really consider this factor. So do think about that. Do consider that when considering leading a life by design, because you just don't know what can happen. You just don't know. And finally, 10, long-term vision. What does success look like for you? Think beyond short-term gains and think about your long-term vision in terms of personal growth, financial independence, and all-around life satisfaction. I know that for me, it's not about the things, really. I don't need the yacht. I don't need the trips to Tuscany. I don't need the G-Wagon. Although don't get it twisted, those things is nice. But to me, the ultimate success is time. You can buy things. Things can get purchased. Time. Time you can't get back. I want the time to do the things that I like to do, to be with the people I like to hang out with, to engage in activities and cultures that enrich me. That includes travel. It includes the pursuit of my creativeness. I want time. I want the time to do the things that I love. Money is nice, and I want the financial independence that allows me to pursue these interests of mine to the fullest. So for me, it's time. What is it for you? I want to hang out with my son more. I want us to travel more. I just want experiences. Lots and lots of experiences. Good ones. Because tomorrow isn't promised. So if I could have the time to get it all in, that would be success for me. But it'll be different for you and everyone else. So think about that. What is your long-term vision? And if it falls in line with what it is and who it is you're supposed to be, and if you succeed at it, then living a life by design is a no-brainer. And if you succeed at living a life by design, then you've won. All right, guys. Well, that is it for me. I am going to wrap this video up. I want to thank you for watching, those who have made it this far. I hope that this video has been helpful to you in some kind of way. Thank you again for 2,000 followers. Okay. Thank you for 2,000 followers. Thank you for your support. It really makes me so happy that you guys love the content. I really love sharing these experiences and life lessons with you guys because I feel like I'm doing the kind of videos that I would have liked to watch as a viewer, you know, and I know that many of you guys out there are, you know, yearning for something different, something better, and I hope that my videos provide that for you. Please let me know in the comments. I want to continue to do the kind of content that encourages and that enriches and that helps you and that delights and that makes you laugh and makes you think. But most importantly, makes you take action to be the best version of yourselves. Anyway, enough talk. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And if you are so inclined, please feel free to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.